There is a quiet power in restraint, a hidden mastery that only those who understand themselves can wield. The world, as Seneca warned, is not built for our vulnerabilities. It hungers for them. To survive, to thrive, and to preserve the sanctity of our inner lives, there are truths we must never reveal. Point 1. The art of silent strength. Why true power lies in what you never say. There is a form of strength that the world rarely recognizes, and yet it is the foundation of all enduring influence: the power of restraint. This is the third truth in the Stoic understanding of self-mastery, the mastery of what we reveal and, more importantly, what we keep hidden. It is not merely about secrecy, it is about preserving the integrity of our inner life, guarding the sanctuary of our mind from the chaos and judgment of others. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. To expose our most intimate thoughts to the unworthy is to allow the world to stain our inner being with its whims, its envy, and its distractions. People who understand this live differently. They speak less about their victories, their plans, and their struggles. Why? Because words are often weaker than deeds, and intentions are more vulnerable than actions. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." And likewise, it is impossible to protect one's purpose once it is made vulnerable to idle opinion. By revealing too much, we hand over control of our inner world to forces that are indifferent and often hostile to our growth. The Stoic sees that attention, praise, or criticism are external phenomena, outside the realm of true influence. The power lies in controlling oneself first, in holding one's essence intact, invisible yet indomitable. We must recognize that the world does not reward honesty in the way we imagine. Telling someone about our vulnerabilities or ambitions does not always bring understanding. Often it brings judgment, misinterpretation, or envy. Seneca warned, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." Sharing your deepest truths to the unworthy weakens you. The Stoic chooses carefully to whom they reveal the architecture of their mind. They let their lives, not their words, demonstrate who they are and what they are capable of. This discipline is not coldness, it is a deliberate cultivation of inner fortitude. Silence, in this sense, is a form of armor. It is not emptiness, it is a conscious strategy. Every word we refrain from saying is a shield protecting our energy, our clarity, and our purpose. We avoid the corrosive influence of gossip, envy, and misunderstanding. As we grow in this quiet strength, we realize that others' opinions matter only insofar as they reflect truth, and truth resides not in external validation, but in the character we build, unseen and unshakable. The Stoic also understands the paradox of influence. The less we broadcast our power, the more it commands respect. There is a magnetic quality to mystery, to self-containment. People feel it, even if they cannot define it. They sense the distance that is not arrogance, but discipline. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength that will always spring up if you will always look." Our silence becomes a source of that spring, nourishing our courage and resilience, keeping us aligned with virtue rather than distracted by fleeting applause. Ultimately, the art of silent strength is not just about withholding information. It is about nurturing a mind that is sovereign, self-sufficient, and unshaken. We do not live to impress, to explain, or to justify. We live to act with integrity, to endure adversity with calm, and to rise through self-mastery rather than through the validation of others. This is why the Stoic values silence as much as action, because the world can take our possessions, our reputation, even our health, but it cannot take the fortress of a mind that has learned the discipline of what to reveal and what to guard. We walk through the world like shadows of quiet power, acting without the need for applause, speaking only when necessary, and allowing our lives to reveal our strength more clearly than any words ever could. In this deliberate restraint, we achieve a freedom that few understand. Freedom from manipulation, freedom from envy, freedom from the relentless demand to explain ourselves. And in this freedom, we find the ultimate mastery of the self, the ability to stand unshaken, to act decisively, and to remain impervious to the turbulence of the world around us. This is the essence of silent strength, the third truth we must hold in our hearts. To reveal less is to command more. To speak less is to lead silently. To hold one's inner world inviolate is to wield a power that cannot be challenged because it resides entirely within ourselves. The Stoic knows the world will never understand, but it will always respect the quiet, unyielding mind.
Point 2. The power of controlled desire. Why wanting less makes you unstoppable. In the pursuit of self-mastery, the fourth truth we must confront is perhaps the most insidious: our own desires. Stoicism teaches us that the mind is a battlefield, and the desires we cling to are often the silent chains that bind us. To live powerfully, we must first understand that the world will never fully satisfy us. Every external possession, every fleeting pleasure, every nod of approval carries within it the seed of disappointment. Marcus Aurelius warns, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Desire without discipline is chaos. Desire with discipline is mastery. We live in a world obsessed with accumulation, yet the truly free are those who accumulate nothing but self-control. Those who do not seek constant validation, applause, or material wealth are often dismissed as indifferent, but in truth, they are quietly unstoppable. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Every desire we allow to govern us is a subtle surrender to the external, a tether pulling us away from the only domain where true power exists, our own reasoned choice. The psychology of controlled desire is profound. It is not about rejecting joy or beauty, but about understanding that joy-rooted independence is fragile. The Stoic mind transforms every craving into a conscious decision. Do I need this? Does it serve my inner virtue, or does it distract me from it? By training ourselves to want less, we free energy that would otherwise be wasted in chasing illusions. The less we crave, the less we fear loss, the less we are swayed by opinion, envy, or circumstance. Seneca asserts, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In this restraint lies a power that the untrained mind cannot perceive, the power of inner independence, unshaken by fortune or misfortune. Controlled desire manifests in action as deliberate simplicity. The person who has mastered it approaches life with calm decisiveness. They do not seek the spotlight, for they do not crave approval. They do not hoard wealth, for they do not fear poverty. Every act is measured, intentional, aligned with principle rather than impulse. In a world of chaos and distraction, their focus becomes a weapon. Just as a river flows unobstructed when unburdened by debris, the Stoic mind moves towards its goals with unmatched clarity and efficiency. But mastering desire is not easy. It requires constant vigilance. We must observe the subtle ways in which longing infiltrates our thoughts, the need for recognition, the compulsion to react, the pull of fleeting pleasures. Each time we resist, we strengthen the mind. Each time we choose virtue over gratification, we build resilience. Marcus Aurelius reflects, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The discipline of controlled desire is the cornerstone of that power. It is a daily exercise in sovereignty, a reminder that the greatest victories are internal. Furthermore, the mastery of desire teaches us patience. When we want less, we are no longer driven by urgency, by anxiety, by panic. We can observe the world without being swept away, make decisions without compulsion, and endure trials without despair. Life's storms lose their power over us because our strength is no longer tethered to fragile externals. We become like the Stoic sage standing unmoved amid chaos, untouched by the trivialities that enslave the many. Ultimately, the power of controlled desire is the power of freedom. It liberates us from the tyranny of circumstance, the manipulation of others, and the endless cycle of dissatisfaction. It is the key to unshakable confidence and quiet dominance in life. Those who master it operate in the world not as victims of fortune, but as sovereigns of their own reasoned destiny. In choosing to want less, we gain everything: clarity, resilience, freedom, and an unstoppable momentum that no external force can diminish. This is the fourth truth we must embrace. The world will tempt us, and our instincts will whisper constantly for more, yet in restraint lies true liberation. To desire less is not to live less, but to live deeper, to act with purpose, and to move through life with a power that cannot be contested. The Stoic knows that the chains of desire are self-imposed and that breaking them is the ultimate act of courage. In doing so, we step into a life of quiet, unyielding, unstoppable force.
Point 3. The silent strength of solitude. How walking alone makes you unbreakable. The fifth truth we must confront, and perhaps the most misunderstood, is the power of solitude. In a world addicted to constant noise, approval, and distraction, the ability to be alone is often mistaken for weakness or loneliness. But to the Stoic, solitude is not emptiness. It is the crucible in which character is forged, the silent arena where we confront ourselves, and the source of unshakable inner strength. Seneca reminds us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it in meaningless company." Those who fear being alone are enslaved. Those who embrace it are sovereign. To walk alone is to test the limits of self-reliance. It exposes the illusions we cling to, the need for validation, the compulsion to impress, the hidden dependencies on others' approval. A true Stoic learns that no external presence can fortify the mind the way solitude does. In being alone, we are forced to examine our impulses, our reactions, our hidden fears. Marcus Aurelius writes, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Solitude allows us to observe ourselves without distraction, to recognize destructive patterns, and to cultivate virtues like patience, self-control, and fortitude. There is a psychological potency in this self-sufficiency. People who are comfortable alone are not swayed by gossip, flattery, or envy. They do not bend under social pressure because their sense of value comes from reasoned judgment, not external affirmation. They understand the words of Epictetus, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." When we rely on solitude to recharge and reflect, we are no longer fragile vessels tossed by every social whim. Instead, we become anchored, capable of facing life's chaos with unshakable calm. Yet solitude is not mere isolation. It is active, deliberate, and demanding. It requires courage to face our own thoughts without distraction, to sit with discomfort, to confront the shadow of our ego. Many avoid this trial
preferring constant stimulation, yet in doing so, they remain tethered to the ephemeral whims of society. The Stoic seeks the opposite: deliberate withdrawal, a conscious turning inward to cultivate resilience, clarity, and wisdom. It is in this silence that we discover the hidden reserves of strength that no external circumstance can touch. Solitude also sharpens perception. Removed from the herd, we observe human nature with clarity and discernment. We see motives, recognize deceit, and understand the transient nature of praise and criticism. In the absence of the crowd's noise, the truth of our character becomes undeniable. This insight, hard-won in solitude, allows us to navigate life strategically, avoiding those who would drain our energy or manipulate our vulnerabilities. We learn to act with intention rather than impulse, to speak only when necessary, and to move through the world with quiet authority that commands respect without words. Moreover, solitude teaches patience and endurance. In being alone, we confront boredom, discomfort, and the absence of constant affirmation. The Stoic transforms these trials into exercises of self-mastery, understanding that endurance in small things cultivates resilience in great ones. As Seneca advises, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome solitude when you are not in the company of the virtuous. Through solitude, we train ourselves to stand firm, not only when we are surrounded by others, but also when we are entirely alone. Finally, the silent strength of solitude is the source of inner freedom. Those who fear loneliness are bound to the opinions and expectations of others. Those who embrace it are free to act according to principle, unshaken by external forces. Their power is invisible yet undeniable. Their presence alone communicates discipline, depth, and a quiet authority that commands respect without words. Walking alone does not signify weakness, it signifies mastery. In truth, solitude is the arena where the Stoic mind becomes unbreakable. By choosing to stand alone, we test, temper, and elevate ourselves beyond the need for approval, distraction, or dependency. We cultivate a calm, measured power that cannot be disturbed by circumstance, people, or fortune. In the silence, we find clarity. In the absence of others, we discover our deepest strength. To embrace solitude is to embrace freedom. It is to walk through life with unshakable composure, deliberate purpose, and quiet dominance. In solitude, we are entirely in control, masters of our mind, architects of our destiny, and unbreakable in the face of a chaotic world. It is the final frontier of Stoic strength, and those who dare to walk it alone emerge unstoppable.
Point 4. The power of silent observation. How watching without reacting elevates you above others. The sixth truth we must embrace, and perhaps the most overlooked by the restless and impulsive, is the extraordinary power of silent observation. In a society that prizes reaction over reflection, those who learn to watch without immediately responding are misunderstood, often underestimated, but in truth, they operate from a place of unassailable strength. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus teaches us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. To watch without reacting is not passivity. It is mastery over impulse, an exercise in fortitude, and a declaration that our inner world is sovereign, untouched by the chaos of others. Silent observation begins with the recognition that most human behavior is driven by illusion, emotion, and habit rather than reason. The moment we allow ourselves to react to every provocation, praise, or criticism, we surrender our power to forces external to us. We become actors in a play written by others, puppets of circumstance. The Stoic, however, sees the truth. The external world is indifferent. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. By watching carefully, without immediate response, we allow events and people to reveal themselves fully, and only then do we decide how or if we act. The discipline of silent observation cultivates profound clarity. In observing without reacting, we gain access to truths that others, clouded by emotional impulse, cannot perceive. We notice patterns in behavior, hidden intentions, and subtle opportunities that remain invisible to the distracted mind. Those who speak first, who act impulsively, often miss these layers, while the silent observer moves strategically with deliberate and calculated purpose. Seneca captures this idea. It is the power of the mind to be able to examine, weigh, and judge all things before it acts. In mastering observation, we reclaim the narrative of our lives from the hands of the reactive crowd. There is also a psychological dimension to this practice. Humans naturally overvalue speech and action, equating constant expression with competence or dominance. The Stoic, however, understands that restraint is a form of superiority. By remaining silent, we create space for reflection, letting others reveal themselves fully before we reveal anything of our own. This patience becomes a form of armor. We no longer expose our vulnerabilities to unworthy eyes, nor do we allow the whims of others to dictate our emotional state. Observation becomes a shield, protecting our mind from the corrosive effects of envy, gossip, and manipulation. Moreover, silent observation sharpens emotional intelligence. By witnessing the world without reacting, we begin to understand not only others' behavior, but also our own internal responses. Every irritation, every moment of desire to comment or react becomes an opportunity for self-examination. The mind learns to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not, a central tenet of Stoic thought. As Epictetus instructs, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Silent observation allows us to choose our reactions deliberately, rather than succumb to habit or social expectation. The social advantages of this practice are subtle yet profound. Those who observe in silence often appear enigmatic, commanding unspoken respect. People reveal more of themselves in response to quiet attention than they do to reaction, offering insight and information to the patient observer. In this way, we gain influence without confrontation, authority without aggression, and power without spectacle. It is a quiet dominance rooted not in noise, but in perception. Finally, silent observation cultivates resilience. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, constant commentary, and performative interaction, the ability to watch, wait, and discern is revolutionary. It teaches patience, endurance, and a calm mastery over impulse. We learn to act only when necessary, speak only when valuable, and remain unshaken by provocation or chaos. In doing so, we transcend the reactive herd, moving through life with a clarity and composure that make true power invisible yet undeniable. Silent observation is therefore both a shield and a weapon. It preserves our mind, elevates our awareness, and grants us strategic advantage over those consumed by impulsive reaction. By watching without immediately responding, we gain mastery over circumstance, control of emotion, and insight into the hidden currents of human behavior. The Stoic understands that true strength is not in speaking loudly or acting quickly, but in perceiving fully and choosing with deliberate purpose. To embrace silent observation is to embrace freedom. It is to step above the noise, to reclaim authority over our thoughts and actions, and wield influence quietly but decisively. It is a power both subtle and profound,
cultivated not through the chaos of the crowd, but in the stillness of a disciplined mind. In learning to watch without reacting, we become unshakable, unassailable, and quietly unstoppable.